I dated myself. I literally started dating myself. That is one of the most amazing things that people can do in their singleness. And even while married, because I still date myself now. Like, welcome and thank you for spending this time with me today. I have a beautiful topic that I want to share with all the hearts that I can touch at this moment. If you don't know me, my name is Maciel Newman, and I just want to invite you into this time to be able to bring some enlightenment into your life. So today's topic, I have in my heart to speak on the path that I chose that led me to marriage. Now, I don't know if this is something that everyone wants, if marriage is like the finish line for everyone, but it was definitely something that I've always wanted from young. So I want to be able to pour into those that either always wanted marriage, seen it and in others and wanted to have the same, or just want to continue to grow their relationship with their partner. So I just want to bring some, reading my journal, sorry. I just want to be able to bring some enlightenment and truths that help me to stay focused on the path that I had decided on for my life, and what I seen for my future, and especially in my love life, right? When I was young, I grew up and my parents gratefully have been married 35 plus years. So I've always seen love at home. I always seen marriage. My family, all of my aunts and stuff are all married with kids, and just I've always been around it, and I'm grateful for that because it led me to where I'm at now as well. That was one, it was something that I've seen. A lot of people don't see marriage, or if they do, they see it where it's just toxic and negative, and like the love isn't there, or they're staying around because of the kids. So I want to speak on solely what aligned with my spirit and what future I saw for my life, right? On my path. Being around so many marriages, I see the good. I would only see the joyful, the love, and I noticed, like, now being married and growing within it, is that the reason why so many of us only see the good is because when those hard times come about, it's time for the both spouse to come together and just align that with themselves, fix it with themselves, and not have it as a broadcast for everyone to be a witness of. So that's what I remember seeing, so much love, right? So I always wanted it. I always wanted a beautiful marriage. So, of course, growing up, we're teenagers, we're feeling so many different feelings, and we're trying to learn ourselves in life. And we can be misguided by friends or just like our environment, what's our community, what's around us. So growing up, I didn't, like, I saw one thing at home and then a whole nother thing in the streets, right? So, which I'm sure many of us have seen that. So I ended up like looking for love in the wrong places and making, not the best decisions when it came to the guys I would date and stuff. And what led me, when I finally got down to the fact, like, hey, the guys that I've dated, first, dating is a huge topic. So I feel like I can continue to speak on it in so many different like aspects, and like, hey, what occurred, and why was I meeting, the same type of guys in different bodies? Like, what is it? And a lot of times people tend to do that and not know why. So, but that's a whole nother topic within itself, that if you guys want to speak on that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and let me know, because I can continue to speak on, which I'm pretty sure in the future near videos I will be speak on it. But for right now, I just want to tell you what led me down to be where I'm at. Married a year and a half now. I'm grateful. It's so much that I've learned, and I continue to grow with my spouse. And I'm so grateful for that blessing that God has blessed us with to continue to do life together. So, but before I met him, I'm just reading my journal. Before I met him, I realized, like, I remember I wasn't in a relationship with this gentleman that I was communicating with, but we were dating, as in trying to get to know each other. And like that phase of the time where you're trying to see if someone is for you and trying to get to know them. So I remember I had a lot of toxic ways back at those times. Not as many as I did beforehand, but at that time I still was like growing with like learning to know me and like be in a whole new different environment because I had moved. So I remember the gentleman at one point, like something occurred and it made me like realize like, hey, I'm coming off a little toxic, like a little, I don't know if the word was aggressive, but I definitely was coming off in a way that it didn't show that I was like happy within or something. Like it just came off like, you okay? Like, so I remember realizing like it gave me a reality check of like, hey, how am I coming off to someone that I really like? So with that being said, I realized that I wasn't like healed from my past, and a lot of us aren't. And once I realized I wasn't like at my best because of what I had experienced in my past, I began my journey of self-love. So I began to realize like, hey, okay, why am I coming off in a certain way? Like, why am I coming off negative? Why am I looking to literally fight or physically hurt someone that I like, to like, it just wasn't okay. So I dated myself. I literally started dating myself. And that is one of the most amazing things that people can do in their singleness. And even while married, because I still date myself now. Like there's times, what I did at that time, I'm just going to rewind time, right? Let's go back to what I had done before marriage. So I would date myself. I began taking care literally so deep of myself, just self-care, self-love, pouring into me, pouring into my skin, my body, and everything that had to do with just mental health. Like, so I was taking care of that. And I would wake up and ask myself like, hey, how are you feeling today? What would you like to do? What feels good to you? And I would journal, I would read, and it just felt so good, right? And then I even went away by myself. If anyone has ever thought of going away alone and they're scared, it's okay. Pray about it and go for it. Spending time away from someone, away where you don't know anyone and just enjoying that time alone, you get to know yourself so deep and love on yourself and just cater to you. It's amazing. So yes. So I began my journey of self-love, dating myself. In that time, I also, with the fact that I realized that mentally I wasn't okay, like why was I coming off so negative to someone that I cared for or like really wanted to connect with, I ended up growing a relationship with God. So, little backstory, born and raised in the Catholic Church, and then as I got older, and baptized, and as I got older, once I moved away from my hometown, which is New York, I ended up getting to know me, right? And within that, I felt much more like in need of God and growing a relationship with him, because I was trying to figure out, why was I coming off so negative? Why was I looking to fight and be toxic? Or not show the love that I really had within. So I grew a relationship with God. So I always knew God because my parents, especially my mom, was always heavily connected spiritually and in the church. But I wasn't there with her. You know, like I spiritually was not in that same platform as she was. I would physically be there at service and stuff, but I just didn't have that connection with God at that time. So in my journey of, self-love, I ended up growing a relationship with God and getting to actually speak to him like he was right in my presence. And that felt amazing. Like that was the most, or anything that you can think that you can, like, you don't want to tell your friends because they might judge you or they may be disappointed. And it's understanding, like there's going to be friends that, they care and love you a lot, but there's the ways that they may come off to you may be a little harsh, and sometimes you literally just need to release. So I found a connection with God, a relationship with him, to be able to just release everything that I felt. And it was so beautiful. It was, and it still is, right? So I grew my relationship with God, and I remember thinking in my head, like, I wish I was like, it's amazing how I'll see people reading the Bible, like, oh my gosh, I can never, like, that can never be me, imagine. And as I grew my relationship with God, there's a few things that was transpiring, right? So I was meeting more quality men, one, because of my self-love journey, and two, because of the relationship I was growing with God. So the quality men were great, but the issue there was that, yes, I was still growing my relationship with God, but I didn't know the Bible. Like, I didn't sit there and read it. In the midst of me getting to start reading the Bible, I realized, like, hey, I'm dating, but I'm not doing it God's way. And ultimately, if I really want marriage, I need to cut this off. I would speak to myself and really just self-reflect and see, like, am I aligned with the future that I want for myself? If I want marriage, am I dating men that want marriage too? So I started just letting go of any connection, any relationship that was not aligned with the life path that I wanted for myself. And that right there, when we all limit and focus ourselves to what it is that we truly want and let go of any sidetrack, that is a huge blessing. And it's gonna be hard. Trust me, it was not easy having to let go of someone that I really cared and loved for and had love for. But I know that I wouldn't be where I'm at now and in the beautiful relationship that I'm at now had I not let go of something that I thought was special and that I cared for. So I made a list of exactly the character that I wanted in the man that I wanted for my future. And anyone that was not aligned with that list, I had to let them go. That is very important for any and everyone that, anything that we want out of life, making a list, knowing exactly what you want. Not so much of the visual when it comes to a relationship. Like, don't think too deep into like, oh, how the person needs to look, because looks are gonna fade, right? So just being focused on the character, the morals, the spirit that you want them to carry, that alone will keep you guided on the right path, and being able to literally just walk away from anything that did not align with the character of person that you wanted to be with, male or female, right? I literally did not care how attractive the gentleman would be or how much I cared for. I did care at a moment, right? I did care about someone that I did care for, but I had to be able to tell myself like no, and realizing like no, the future that I have for myself, the marriage that I want for my life, the man, the spouse that I see for me, and the woman that I want to become, if the person that was trying to pursue me, if the gentleman that was trying to pursue me did not connect with that, I had to walk away. I had to be okay with saying like, hey, you're loving, you're kind, and I respect you and have love for you, but this is what I see for myself. This is what I want in my life. And if you don't connect with that, I completely understand, but I cannot sacrifice my future because you're unsure of your feelings or unsure of what it is that you want. And we have to be okay with letting go what does not serve us and what is not from God. So one thing that helped me be able to be so sure of letting go of someone that I care for and that I knew had so much love for me was the fact that it brought confusion. A lot of relationships that we end up entangled with bring confusion. And they're not clear. You're not all the way in the know of where this ship is going, right? Every relationship is a ship. That's how I see it. If you don't have a clear destination of where you're going and all you're doing is just, you're just rocking a boat, you're just cruising without a destination, ultimately that ship is gonna sink, right? So be clear on the destination that you want for your life and express that. And it's okay to express it. You should be able to tell someone what you see for yourself, right? And it's up to them to decide whether it's going to work for them or not. And it's up to you. And if the person that you speak to does not have that same destination in mind, or they're just like, trying to basically just go with the flow of stuff, have enough love for yourself to be able to say, I'm sorry, but that's just not going to work for me. And it's going to be okay. Like, the person that is meant for you is not just going to be like, oh, I just want to go with the flow, see how this goes. Like, no, that's wasting time. We have so much stuff that we can be doing in this world that rather than just waste our youth or waste our time or give our body to someone that has no idea if they want to be with you in the next 5, 10, 20 years, So be clear on what it is that you want. And if you don't know what you want, do not date. Don't waste your time. Don't give your body away to others. Take that time to really, when you're unsure, take that time to get to know you. Take that time to get to know exactly what you want for yourself, what you want out of life. And once you know exactly what you want, then continue to date. And that's for men and women. Know exactly what it is that you want for yourself. When someone has clarity of the future that they want for themselves, it's so appealing to know, because now you're determined, you're focused, and you're just not accepting anything that comes your way, right? Because there's going to be a whole lot of distractions that try to come your way in the midst of you narrowing down the path, the life that you want for yourself. You have to be able to be strong enough and stay focused and say, no, this is not aligned with the future that I have for myself. And it's okay. They're not a bad person, but it just is, they're just not for me. And it's okay, because the right person, you won't have to feel confused. You won't have to feel like, are they dragging me on? Are they seeing other people? You're not going to have to go through that. And if you do, they're going to cut it short pretty quick and know hey, this is the person for me. All right. That should be another video, but yes. Once I narrowed it down to what it was that I wanted for my future and for marriage, it led me to, again, to remain focused on that and having a clear vision. And that also meant I stopped dating. I literally cut off anyone that was pursuing me that did, as I mentioned, did not connect and align with my future. And anytime, because those calls are going to come through, those text messages, the link ups is going to try to come around. And I was strong enough to say, no, this is not it. this is not aligned. And you have to, as I mentioned, be strong enough to do that. In the midst of that, I also, once I, knew exactly what I wanted, I told God, I said, I don't want anything that isn't from you. I'm giving my life, my body to you. And if the man isn't from you, I want nothing to do with them. Don't bring them my way. I am your child. I just want what you have for me. And I stayed true to that. And I let go of, again, anything that wasn't connected to that. And that's a sacrifice that we have to do. The sacrifice of asking God exactly what you want and allowing him to have his way, one, in your life, and live purposely through you so you can be connected to the right people. And when I met my husband then, I ended up, I will never forget. As I mentioned, you have to be clear with anyone that comes your way and letting them know exactly what you want out of life and what you see for your future. When I realized that my husband, which back then was just someone that I met, when I realized that he was really trying to pursue me, and I wanted to make it clear as day, so I made it clear as day, like, hey, I don't want you to think that this is going anywhere if you're not, like, this is my path, and this is what I want for myself, this is what I want for my future, and I don't want anything that is not in this route. I'm saying different words because certain words I can't say on here, right? If you want to know more of what was said, you can always go to my website and connect with me there. We do have different courses, and I have love life coaching courses as well that you can connect with me there. And if you want to start coaching with me, by all means, I would love to coach you through your love life, right? So regardless of the fact, when I realized that he was really pursuing me, I let him know exactly what my truth was and what I wanted for myself. I will never forget, he literally was like, I want that. I want to walk that journey with you. I'm tired of being hurt too, and I want to be able to do it God's way. And I literally thought he was joking. And I remember looking up at God like, God, is this a joke? Like, who said that? But it was just so beautiful to know that letting go and letting God do his work through me connected me to my spouse. It just and now I'm here, right? It just made me feel like, oh my gosh, I've been doing things my way for so long and it's gotten me nowhere. Why not let that go and allow God to do it through me, right? So I just want to rewind back to everything that we've spoken on today. And I'm hoping that this allows and blesses you to be able to find that special spouse of yours and help you become exactly who that spouse that you have in mind, who that spouse would want to be with. Rewinding back on the path that I chose that led me to marriage. 1, I began my journey of self-love and I dated myself. 2, I grew a relationship with God, being able to have a relationship with him in a way of seeing him as like a best friend that I can release and be transparent with, and also connected to reading the Bible. That was a big plus because that's when I realized that I was doing life the wrong way. That I was doing relationships the wrong way. 3, I let go of any relationships that were not aligned with the life path that I wanted. And I walked away gracefully without it being I don't agree with people ending on bad note. I think that when you share time and a relationship with someone and you get to know them and they get to know you, I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to walk away lovingly and letting them know hey, you know, it's nothing wrong that you did, but I just see more for myself. Or, you know, like it's just more that I want for my life. And if someone's upset with you about that, it's okay, they're not lying for you. But usually they aren't, and they understand. Before I spoke my truth and I kept myself aligned and focused on what it is that I wanted. And anyone that tried to pursue me, I was clear as day what I wanted. And if it wasn't that, then it's okay, but they cannot continue to try to pursue me. And it's okay to be exactly that, to be as authentic and real with what it is that you wanted for marriage. So I say all that to say, I hope that what I've shared with you today has brought you enlightenment and understanding and wisdom to be able to become that beautiful spouse or love life partner that will attract the right type of love to you and let go of what no longer serves you or what is not for you. And I'm gonna leave on this note with what helped me stick to that path that I really wanted for myself. I remember telling myself, I've tried every other way in relationships. I've done it any and every way that I wanted to do it. And they all failed. And I remember saying, like, after connecting with God and in the midst of connecting with God, I remember just feeling like, if I've tried every other way that I wanted, my ways, why not allow God to do it? And it was the best decision I've ever made. So I'm hoping that this brings you all the peace and the knowing and the understanding and the wisdom that you need to continue to grow the love that you so desperately give to others. Be able to, one, give that to you to connect with the right love for yourself in your life. Again, this is was solely connected me on the path that I wanted. So if this, you know, this is not to tell you what to do, but this is literally just to give you some wisdom on, hey, maybe there's a different way. If you want to continue to grow in your self-love journey and your love life path, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to coach you on this because it was something that I wish I did have someone to continue to grow with and be able to release and talk to about, like the relationships that I was surrounded by and the people that I was connected to, because a lot of times we are being misled. So allow me to assist you and in that path and just being that wonderful friend to continue to grow with. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope that this brought you some light. Have a wonderful rest of your week. God bless you, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. My website is gracefully.becoming.org, and on the tab you can, let me see, we have, there's like 3 bars if you're on your phone. There's 3 bars, you click on that and you can set up a coaching session with me. And if you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to write me in the comments here, and I would love to connect with you. God bless you, take care, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Mwah.